Okay, but for real, is it New Orleans or New Orleans?
Who cares? Devin Booker's dropping 50.
I just want some gumbo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Thank you for joining us for the pregame conversation. I'm Lindsay. That's Gerald. That's Steven. That's Eric. And I speak for everyone on this panel when I say beignets are
Absolutely
overrated.
not.
No,
she does not.
They're delicious.
No way.
Delicious.
I'm not saying they're not good. They're just overrated.
That's a crazy
That's
thing to say
insane.
out loud.
I'm just glad somebody else is making Steven mad. Somebody has
That's
to do it.
crazy.
Today is the day that we make Steven riot and leave.
Unreal.
This is going to be
If
great.
it's beignets that does it, then I think I took that at plus 1,600 at the start of the season.
I mean,
so.
honestly, that one would have been the one that none of us would have thought would have
Good
been
odds.
what
I think-
pushed Steven
Yikes.
over the edge on this program. That's for
Yikes.
certain. All right, we've got the Suns and the Pelicans facing off tonight. Lots of injuries. Lots and lots of injuries to talk about. We'll start with that first because the injury report is like 1,000 miles long. So long that we had to fill up the entire graphic, and the Pelicans had to squeeze over on our side too. So we'll start with the Sun side of things. We knew Kevin Durant and Jusuf Nurkic were going to miss this game along with Colin Gillespie. But unfortunately, we have to add Ryan Dunn to this list. He was probable this morning, then switched to questionable, then moved to out just a little while ago. And then on the Pelicans side of things, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Eve Missy were all questionable coming into this one, but they are available. They will play. Zion Williamson, Jose Alvarado, and Jordan Hawkins are out, however. So I'm really sad we're not going to get some Alvarado action in this one. I actually really like Jose Alvarado. He brings a lot of zest to the game. I love it.
He does. I'm not sure Chris Paul was a big fan of him, but
Definitely not.
no, this is the margin for error shrunk a little bit with some of these questionables on the Pelicans side being available and with Ryan Dunn being downgraded from probable to questionable to out for this game. But this is still a game that you should win. This is a team that started the season 2-0 and has won 2 of 20 games since then. So even with the guys that they've gotten back, they got DeJounte Murray back recently. They're getting Herb Jones back. They're getting Brandon Ingram back. A little bit more of a challenging task, but we've seen Devin Booker light this team up no matter who is out there, and this is a game that they should win.
I think it's at the point for me where not only should they win this game, I feel like this is the game where you proved to everybody you did learn something when Kevin Durant was out before, and that it wasn't just, hey, you had the lead in the Spurs game and you're able to close it out because you had a lead. Go out there and don't struggle to find your identity. Show up with your identity. And I think tonight, like you mentioned, the identity is going to go through Devin Booker, right? This team does not have the defensive pieces that some of the other teams that Devin saw during last KD's absence have. So he should be able to go out there, put his foot on their throat early and fill it up and hopefully set a tone for this game.
That's what should happen. But you can't play with your food, though. So it's a nice little challenge. I always say it's a good challenge for them, but it literally is. You can look at the Pelicans and like, okay, they haven't been healthy in I don't know how long. They haven't won a game in I don't know how long. We should be able to just come in and go through the motions. Then you get smacked and you're down 7 going in the second quarter, and you're working uphill the rest of the way, and you end up going into the clutch where everything is in variance for no reason. Come out, handle your business, do it with a business approach, and then get on to your Florida back-to-back trip.
And I know there's only one player on the roster currently that was around when this happened last time, but there's some beef with the Pelicans that's been spanning. Or maybe Josh Okogie too.
Beyond the beef, though, I do think that like Willie Green at the head of the Pelicans and Devin also has a little something there, because I know Willie Green and Devin had a really good relationship when they were here. And I know there's always going to be that friendly rivalry, especially because Willie Green was a little bit younger when he was here with the Suns. So they could still kind of go after it in practice. Mm-hmm. And they're always talking about it. Willie Green has asked every single year. Gerald, you joked about this too. When we were listening to some of the stuff that was asked and said during pregame, like, how do you stop Devin? Do this. And then Devin doesn't do anything, and Devin still goes off.
Right.
I think just as a whole too, there's natural beef between Devin and just the Pelicans in general because of that.
Yeah, I mean, you compete with your friends harder than anybody, to be honest with you. So it is always funny to hear Willie Green talk about being aggressive against Book. And like, I feel like 3 out of the last 4 games, he's dropped 50 on this team. And this is a Pelicans team that no longer has like a Dyson Daniels, who is someone that playing at great defense right now in Atlanta, but someone that Book routinely torched. Herb Jones, welcome back. Go have fun with Devin Booker. But it did sound like they're going to be taking the approach that we've seen a lot of teams take in terms of sending all kinds of help double teams at Devin Booker. And to Eric, your point, this is a good opportunity to prove that you did learn from that stretch where where KD and Beal were both sidelined, and it was just constantly dealing with double teams. They need to function better out of those tonight. Having Beal out there will definitely help in that respect.
Yeah, that's a huge game changer. I mean, being down 2 of your big 3 is tough for anybody to overcome. Having at least 2 of them will always be a little bit easier. And I know Beal probably feels like he has to step it up a notch too, knowing that KD's out and he's been injured already. Like, as much as I know these guys say it's just a part of the game, injuries happen, there's nothing you can do about it, I know they feel some type of way about it and want to prove their value no matter how great you are. Even guys like Kevin Durant probably still get that itch after an injury to come out and have a big game or a big stretch of games just to be like, don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Like we could, but it's just a natural part of being a human.
Yeah, and I think that's the next step in their progression as a team. Like, we've seen them make a lot of stylistic changes in terms of their identity, the way that they play. And this was something that we talked about on our show yesterday, and something that Mike Budenholzer mentioned after the last game in terms of no matter who's in or out, we need to play to a certain identity. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our league. We're not any different. I'm sure there's not a team in the league that's not dealing with some people in and out of the lineups. And hopefully we, teach and start to learn a way of playing that's good for everybody, regardless of who's healthy and who's not. And guys can find ways to contribute. Other people have opportunities to get more minutes. So we'll just see how Kevin is, and you just got to keep playing. You got to keep competing, keep getting stops, get out, run, play with each other, try and play the way we want to play.
Got to keep getting stops, got to get out and run. I think those are some of the most operative phrases when this team isn't healthy, especially because that's the best way to get Devin Booker clean looks. I say this in an endearing way, but I think their teams are going to say, Bradley Beal, we know you're good, but you have to show us that you are in the mindset to be aggressive, because he's been one to pass up shots at times as a member of the Suns over the last season and a quarter now. I think teams are going to bet on that, and they're going to put some of the same defensive game plans together against Devin Booker until Bradley Beal shows that he's operating in that particular space, and that's when you're going to see Devin Booker kind of have more space to operate with.
And that should be a space that Bradley Beal's comfortable in. Because it's the same way when Kevin Durant is playing as well. Like, Bradley Beal's a really good player, but he is not on the level of a Devin Booker and a Kevin Durant. So when he's out there, teams are going to cheat off of him a little bit more. They're not going to, quote, forget about him, but they're going to be a lot more focused on those top 2 until you make them change their focus. And that's what you have to do, because as soon as you start taking those eyes away from Book, because Beal has 20. Okay, now Devin understands that. He sees a different coverage, and he's now going to go and step on it.
Yep, and I think that coming out with that mindset for Bradley Beal in particular is important, because I feel like outside of Devin Booker carving out more space for him, Bradley Beal has to be aggressive in those lineups where Devin Booker isn't on the floor. Yeah. Naturally, he's starting the game with Devin Booker. If he already has that role into the lineups without Devin Booker, that's a natural kind of, I'm already in flow. Now it's nothing for me to start getting downhill and opening up things for everybody else from there.
Yeah, it's just another example of how Beal has one of the hardest jobs on this team, because when KD and Book are out there, he is the third fiddle. He is the guy who has to kind of pick and choose his spots based on, okay, are we staggering? Am I the guy that's in charge? Am I attacking a second side closeout? That type of thing. Now with KD out, he's bumped up to that role of I need to be aggressive at all times. And when Book is off the floor, like Steven mentioned, he's got to be the guy who's, orchestrating, who's setting guys up, who's looking to pick his spots to score. So I am hopeful that this stretch, even though it's a very short, hopefully just a 3-game stretch with KD out, I want to see him be aggressive. I want to see him scoring, 25 to 30 points and getting up a lot of shots in the process.
Andy in the chat said they want to see Beal average 30 points per game without Kevin Durant. Drop in the chat, you guys. I want to know, how many points tonight do you think Beal will finish with, and how many points tonight do you think Book will finish with? And then you guys will answer a little bit later. You ready for the starting 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
We got Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Royce O'Neal, and Mason Plumlee.
Ooh, okay.
Switching things up a little bit
No
tonight.
rookie on rookie Eve Missy versus Oso Ighodaro.
Unfortunately, no. At least not to start the game.
Not to start the game.
We'll probably see it at some point, though. How are you feeling about this starting 5?
Yeah.
Dude.
I would have liked it better if Dunn was available tonight, because we know Royce has been good off the bench for the most part this season. And I would like to see Dunn's length and wingspan and defense and athleticism out there, especially with the wings that the Pelicans are getting back tonight. That would have been a nice match there. But yeah, I am interested to see what Budenholzer has to say about going with Ighodaro last game and then going back to Mason Plumlee tonight. They have talked about, like, we're constantly battling in terms of Nurk and Plumlee and Ighodaro, how we sort out their minutes. So it could probably just be that, but I'm curious if it's also a matchup thing.
So to speak on the matchup thing, there's a couple of different ways that the Pelicans can win this game, and one of those is offensive rebounds. There are 6th per game in offensive rebounds as a team, and I feel like Mason gives you a better build for blocking out and shoring up defensive rebounds on that end. And maybe Bud understands, like, hey, we have the offensive firepower. This is a Pelicans team that's dead last in points per game by 2 points, right? They're bottom 5 in field goals made as well. So we know they're not going to outscore us, right? We can't give them more opportunities to do that. We'll start with a veteran who's maybe less susceptible to getting dominated physically on the interior to grab those boards. That might be it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a quick switch to put Oso in there and then just kind of have them sort in and out rapidly almost this game.
Well, quick switch with no pun intended, but I feel like that's going to be what they lean on defensively in terms of their coverage.
There we go.
With Nurkic not being in the game for the next, 6 or 5 days now at this point. Also, they've been leaning on him heavily for that since when he first got into the rotation, and since he's kind of sustained in that, I think he's going to end up closing a lot of these games over these next handful.
Ted Offensive in the chat says, Okogie with a big game tonight. We've seen a couple Josh Okogie comments in the chat for this one. Do you think we'll see him in this one?
I hope Mike Budenholzer this season, because he hasn't been playing them much.
He hasn't. And
but we are down now 2 bodies. Two very good defensive bodies.
I think we will see him tonight, because I think we have seen him go to Okogie when, like, KD was out, when Beal was out, when they've had multiple guys out, and that's definitely the case tonight. I don't think we'll see Bull, but 2 of the guys that were in his path are now out. I still think he sticks with Ighodaro. I think he still sticks with Okogie, but you never know, foul trouble, that type of thing.
Or maybe it's a blowout, and then we get to see Bull.
Hopefully that's the circumstance.
That would be like the best case scenario.
Yeah, it would.
Right?
It would.
Be
Would it not?
The only case scenarios what it's trending and looking like. But yeah.
All right.
But I do think we'll see Okogie.
I hope Josh gets another stretch, because I feel like more than anybody that wasn't expected to play to a certain level, he showed something that you didn't necessarily know coming into that stretch.
Yeah.
And I feel like he earned his way into at least a few minutes, a show me set of minutes to see what he looks like when the team is healthy. Unfortunately, he didn't get it, and we're kind of back at square one in terms of where we were 2 weeks ago. So,
well, and that's and I mentioned it with Josh Okogie, where it was almost the perfect amount of time where you let him rip, you let him score, but you don't want too much of him. You don't want, like, too much of the dessert. And so Maybe Bud was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep him back when we don't necessarily need him out there so he could still be riding that high when we do have to break glass because of emergencies. I still think he probably should be getting a couple spot minutes here and there, but I'd be pretty shocked if Okogie didn't play tonight.
And for full transparency, when the team is healthy, I'm thinking like 10 minutes for Josh. And that might even be a stretch on most nights. I just feel like there's impact for him to have when you start getting deeper into your rotations and you start layering in for different types of lineup looks over the course of 48 minutes.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I think we're at the point where, especially for Josh Okogie and Monte Morris specifically, those are the two guys that I look at as if they're down a body or two, they will see the floor because they've proven that they can contribute in those spots. And if the team's fully healthy, I don't think we see much of them.
All right, so I asked the chat, how many points will Book finish with and how many will Beal finish with?
Okay.
Tony says Beal will get 31 and Book will have 44.
Okay.
Guarantees at least 40, though, on that one. Ashley says Beal will have 27 and 44 for Book as well. Loyal says Beal will have 25 and Book will get 30. And Tony also says Book owns NOLA, so guaranteed at least a 40 ball. But Sean thinks Book might go for 50 tonight.
Okay.
Where are you guys kind of thinking? Also, real quick, Nate, I already sent in my bet. I already did it. Don't you worry. I don't need your free advice. I'm winning. Don't you forget. So what do you guys think?
I want to say 40. I think it's going to be like 32 or something, and 32? I think they win handily.
Oh yeah, I would love a 40+ point game from Book. Just reestablish your dominance. You own Smoothie King Arena, Smoothie King Center, whatever it is. I think very disappointing like 35. Like just a, come on, dude.
40's a lot, man.
40's a lot of points. I'd say Beal high 20s.
Book have more 40-point games
there than Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, than Brandon Ingram.
He might have more 40-point games there than anybody.
But I mean, like,
it's pretty impressive.
It's kind of, I would feel some type of way if I was Brandon Ingram. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I don't think Brandon Ingram feels any type of way. That dude is not aware of that.
I mean, 40 points is a lot, but this is also Devin Booker we're talking
It's
about.
true.
And this is Devin Booker we're speaking to without Kevin Durant in the lineup. So who's getting the ball more? Whose usage is going up? Who's going to be featured most for the team?
So Book loves going off against the Pelicans, and besides his career high against them at 58 points, which came in a home game, his other 6 of his top 7 have all come on the road, which is 33, 38, 40, 40, 44, and 52. Yeah, so he enjoys it. It's definitely possible.
Like you said, and Sean in the chat said disappointing 35. LOL, that's somewhat accurate given his numbers against them.
Yeah, you kind of go into it being like, of course he's going to get 40
points from Devin Booker tonight. How dare you, Book?
He set the bar very high.
How dare you?
Exactly.
I think at least, I would say I'm going to go 34 for Book and 31 for Brad.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
That would be fun.
I'll take it.
That'd be super fun.
Give me combined 75 points between the big 3 tonight.
There you go.
Let's go.
I'll take a double-digit victory. I don't care how many Book scores.
Listen, at the end of the day, really all that matters is just that we win the game.
True.
It doesn't matter how or by what, but we can share our hopes and dreams on this program. Isn't that right, Gerald?
That's right.
All right. What are they wearing in this one? Let's check out the jersey matchup.
No way.
The whites?
No way.
What?
The whites.
Is the Pelicans jersey black or blue?
Navy blue.
It's like a navy blue, right?
It's their state colors.
Yeah.
And then the gold. I don't really hate them, but I don't love them.
I don't
to be
like them.
completely honest with you.
They're solid.
They're okay. They're a little bland, but they're like I like when they lean into kind of the Mardi Gras or like they had some really nice special jerseys over the last couple of years.
They were better before they transferred to the Pelicans name.
Yeah.
And then they were better in that first iteration of Pelicans, and now it's definitely taking a downward spiral. I'll say that.
It's just really funny that Utah is still the Jazz and not New Orleans. That will never not be funny to me.
Right? I mean,
things that don't make sense.
Right. Of course, Los Angeles is still the Lakers, so whatever.
All right, who you guys got tonight and by how much?
I have the Suns by 8 tonight.
Okay, I've got them by 9.
I got them by 10.
Woo!
Eric, way to ruin it.
Big three combines for 75. Suns by 13.
Eric,
No, if Book
did you
and
not
Beal
get the memo?
No. Oh, not
8, 9, 10. You were
13.
supposed to pick
Sorry.
11.
He got excited.
I've been gone for a little bit. I'm not here with the chemistry. I'm
He was
I'm
like
figuring
waiting to
it
give
out.
his answers, like 8, 9, 10, 13.
That's exactly how that went. Anyway, continue.
Woo! Right,
Continue what you were saying.
No.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
All I know is I want Steven to give me a woohoo
You're going to be waiting a long time, my guy.
one day.
If
the
we win a
Suns win a championship,
can we
if
get a
they win a title.
woohoo?
7 days in the week and 1 day is not one of those.
okay. If the
At all.
Suns win a championship,
Mhm.
will you give me? Can our
said
cold
nope.
open just be you going woo?
Yes, if they win a championship,
All right.
yes.
All right.
You shake on that.
All right.
Shake on
You
Steven-
heard
it here first.
You saw it here first.
Why are you so against having fun?
What you mean? I have fun.
He has
He
fun.
made a joke in the
I
cold
love
open.
Woohoos.
He has his fun
What's-
in his own way.
What's wrong with a
Why
good
do
old
I have to
fashioned
check
woohoo?
that box off? Y'all already checked that box off.
Right. You guys got it
I got to
covered.
bring something different. If we all the same, then what's the...
Woohooing is more fun together.
Yeah, it's like a
We all
group
know this.
activity.
Gerald didn't
Woohoo.
woohoo.
Yeah, I
Gerald,
don't.
woohoo.
I don't woohoo.
That's
Do it,
what I'm
Gerald.
talking about.
Gerald,
Do
you're
it,
so
Gerald.
woohoo.
I don't
Gerald
woohoo.
literally sang the win-win-win-win song
All
on
right,
this
so I'm gonna
program.
be-
He's
That's
a
different.
woohooer.
Gerald woohoos and double fist pumps in the air.
That is
Like,
very different. When do I fist pump?
I don't know, but you definitely are a woohoo
In the
guy.
club, we all fam.
In the
All right. Anyway,
Not
back
when we
to our
wooing like
regularly
that.
scheduled programming.
Steven said, I am not
I
fan.
ain't in that club. At all.
Steven, what do our friends at Bet365 think about this one? Looking at the money line and the spread here.
Well, they have the woohoo on the Suns in this one, with the money line being a
You did
minus
it.
125.
I win.
They're the heavy favorites in this one, and the spread for them is minus 1.5. And then on the other side, the Pelicans are plus 105, with their spread being plus 1.5 as well.
So I'm pretty sure this moved because I think earlier it was a -2 spread for the Suns.
The power of Ryan Dunn.
Apparently.
The power of Steven's woohoo. That's what it was.
It's not a
Yes.
huge shift by any means, but it definitely did shift a smidge
Mhm.
because I have it in my bet. You guys ready for our bets?
Mm-hmm.
It's time for our pregame picks presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code PHNX365 when you sign up. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Steven, I'll let you go first because I know yours is probably pretty hefty.
Nah, not by my normal standards. It's a lot of Devin Booker, as you can see. I expect him to have a big game as he's shown to over the course of his career. I got him for over 40 points. I got him for 5 or more assists. I got him for 5 or more rebounds. And I have him for 4 or more made threes. And as Gerald was speaking to with us pregame, when his 3 ball is falling, 40 is rather easily attainable for him. So that's going to be a barometer early in the game. And then the last one, I have Bradley Beal at a gimme at over 3.5 assists. Without Kevin Durant in, he's going to have the ball in his hands more. He's a natural giving 5+ assist guy, especially when he's featured more.
Makes sense.
All right. Plus 3,000.
Plus
Eric,
3K.
you beating it?
Yeah, I've been on a losing streak, and so I just figured, let's go basic.
Oh my
Bro, what is the
God.
Plus
fun? Noah, what is the
18,000.
fun?
Let's go
Right?
basic here.
Six?
I don't even know how many legs this
There's
is.
so many,
That's
I
bigger
can't
than-
even read
that's
it on the
bigger.
screen.
That's a
7,
bigger
8,
leg bet
9.
than anyone I put together.
9 leg
this
parlay?
season.
No, the text has to be smaller because it's like longer too. I think
Sure.
you've definitely done a 9 to 10
I
leg
feel like I'm at
parlay,
the eye
Steven.
doctor trying to read this.
Facts.
This is the longest.
Better 1 or 2?
Okay.
Thank
Better
you,
3
Noah.
Stick
or
with me.
4?
I'll cover my left eye.
All right, everybody
Yo.
cover your left eye and tell me what you see. Devin Booker, 25+ points. Check. Bradley Beal, 26.5 PRA. Check. Here's where things get interesting. Tyus Jones, 2.5 points in the first quarter. He's going to launch a 3 in the first quarter, drain it.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, 1+ assists in the first quarter.
Okay.
Come on. Tyus Jones, 1+ assists in the first quarter. Eve Missy, 5+ points. First quarter spread, Suns minus half a point, basically win the first quarter. Eve Missy, 1+ rebound in the first quarter, and Tyus Jones, 1+ rebound in the first quarter. All of that, baby, plus 1,800.
I mean, at least the positive to this is that if one leg misses in the first quarter, you don't
Yeah, I'm
have to
done.
even
Yeah.
like there's a good possibility you could just be like, all right, whatever, and move right on along after the first quarter.
Oh, I will not move
So-
along. I will let it stick with me forever.
I was going to say, you might be devastated. The Eve Missy, the 5 points, that was for the whole game, correct?
Whole game.
Okay, gotcha.
Whole game.
Okay.
It's going to be really funny if I think all of those are going to hit, except I think Tyus Jones is not going to get that rebound in the first quarter.
Yeah, no,
That would be
probably.
tough.
Probably.
That would be so
Probably.
tough.
That would
I'm
be
going to be
tough.
screaming at a 6-foot man to grab a rebound.
That would be
Come
my
on.
guess.
That's tough. Oh no.
No, you're right. It's good. Like everything's gonna hit except for that. Yeah.
All right, let's see what Espo's rolling with tonight. He's got Tyus
Lame.
Jones first bucket at a plus 700.
Ooh, a one-leg bet. What are we in second grade?
I
Come
mean,
on.
So
Do you
impressive.
want to remind him of the leaderboard?
Yeah,
or-
facts.
Hey,
I have a 3-leg
playing
parlay.
possum.
Get on my level.
No, that's
Eric.
good. 3 legs is perfectly grown up.
Devin
adult.
Booker, 20 or more points. Devin Booker, 5 or more rebounds, and the Suns to win at a plus 325. It's a plus 325.
It's a good bet. That's a good
Get
bet.
stuffed,
Lindsay, it's a good bet.
children.
It's a good bet. I'm not mad at that
It
bet.
doesn't matter. It's a plus 325. Those are big odds for me. Come talk to me when one of you two actually hit a bet, please and thank you.
Well, I hit the first bet of the season, first of all.
And
so
what was
I'm
the
just
odds?
saying the
What was the
tone.
odds,
The
Stevens?
tone has to be
What
watched.
was the odds?
It was probably bigger than 325. I'm sure that.
I don't
No, we
believe
can.
you.
No, we can run it back and make sure we check that bet. From
You
the
know
first
why I
game of
don't
the
believe
season.
you? Because if you look at the
Nah.
leaderboard, you're so far down.
No,
I
you
don't even think
believe
you can
me.
see the light of day
You
anymore.
don't believe me because you didn't read that bet for particular
Gosh,
reasons on
I'm
the first game.
so
That's why.
happy
Exactly.
Steven is just a little
Steven
lower
said,
than me.
I'm the Pelicans. We got a W night 1. It's been a little rough, but we're getting healthy. Watch out.
Exactly.
We're on the come up now.
Exactly. hmm Stay tuned. That's all I gotta say.
You have to-
Everybody
okay,
talks
so
tough while they're up.
We got Lindsay in first place with 45.93.
Oh my God.
Everybody else in the negatives. Espo is closest at negative 25. Eric at negative 155. Steven is getting healthy though. We won't read the number. You can
Okay,
you can read
two
it.
things. Two
right.
things.
That's
If
right.
losing bets meant you couldn't talk on the show, then Flex would have been mute.
Oh yeah.
Second of all, if I win my bet tonight, Lindsay, and you lose, I'm pretty sure we're basically tied.
Dude,
So I ain't that far back.
I'm having such a great time with this competition this year. Oh my God.
She's been loving this.
This is the best day of my life.
Oh,
All you
man.
need is one win. That's literally all you need. One win and you're back
I
in it.
can't
That is
breathe.
true, especially with the odds that you guys are betting at. Just one bet.
I think
that's-
I'm leaning
bet.
into it at
And
this
the whole
point.
thing changes.
Like,
No panic at all.
I exactly.
Not
I
even a
mean,
little bit.
It's not even Christmas yet either.
They still got 67, 68 games left.
If you guys want to get in on the action, again, sign up with that code PHNX365. But a disclaimer, you do have to be 21 or older and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. We got a super chat from our guy, Psycho Blue. They said, Basketball Cthulhu wants to know why the Pels are treating this like Game 7 in a playoff series. Because they got beef.
Well,
Remember?
they haven't won many games, so every
Yeah,
game feels like
every
Game
game.
7.
That's true.
Kind of is for
It's-
them right
they're,
now.
They're in do or die mode already, and we barely passed the quarter mark of the season so far. So yeah,
Yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot. There's so much between
Mm.
the Pelicans and the Suns, just as a whole,
Mhm.
that I think, at least from a fan base perspective, you hang on to that too.
Yeah,
You
And
know,
also-
even if the players are gone,
Mhm.
sentiment still remains the same.
And I feel like every team feels like their opponents get healthy just in time for them. Like it was funny when Bradley Beal came back, we had so many Lakers fans
oh,
saying,
yeah.
God, everyone just gets healthy again. Every fan base feels this way.
Yeah.
It
Because
just,
everybody's
Facts.
always injured, so
Yeah.
everybody's always coming back.
right, exactly.
Oh, man.
Okay, this is so random. We were talking injuries.
Hmm.
Nothing Suns related at all, but I thought it was really funny.
Hmm.
If I said the name Ricky Pearsall, I know you know who that is.
Oh, I saw that.
You know,
yeah.
so Ricky Pearsall is a football player who
Mhm.
got shot
Mhm.
in the offseason, like
Okay.
pretty close to the season starting. At this point in both the NBA and the NFL season, Ricky Pearsall has played more games than Joel Embiid.
That's crazy.
Joel Embiid has played 4 with sore knees.
Wow.
Ricky Pearsall got shot.
Yeah.
He's played 5. That's ASU tough right there.
Built different.
Built different.
And if
Forks up.
you had them on the back burner in fantasy, you won big the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You probably shot up the rankings.
But with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Be sure to meet us right back here after the game wraps up for the post-game show. Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.